Hi, this is Daddy Sage reporting from Western North Carolina. As you may know, some of you at least, on my son's YouTube channel, the YouTube channel of Sage Kronsell, I have posted a few videos about the Tom Dooley case. In this video, I will take you via my dashboard cam through the area where things took place. You could call it Tom Dooley-Land. Right now I'm on North Carolina State Highway 268, somewhere between the towns of Lenoir and Wilkesboro. And I will start my trip by going to the place where I define Dooley-Land to start. I will cut the camera from time to time. There's no reason for you to sit and watch whatever I spent my time on driving just around the country. To the left there is a small road called German Hill Place. This is where Dooley-Land in my definition starts. This road leads up to the place where the victim Laura Foster lived with her father and her siblings. There's nothing to see up there now except for 4 modern houses, and they have nothing to do with the case. Around the next bend we approach a field, and in that field you will see a small white fence. This fence is surrounding the grave of Laura Foster, the victim. This was where she was buried when the body was discovered 3 months after her disappearance. And now killing the camera. Right now we are about 2 miles further east, and I'm approaching a small road called Kronsell Farm Drive, and if I turn up this road, which I will do, it's a short cul-de-sac. You will see a modern house. I'll get back to the modern house in a while, but we will pass by the modern house and go down to a small place where you can turn your car around, and if you look through the trees you may be able to spot a small cemetery. This is the Dooley-Horton family cemetery. We can't go there as the pass is only for pedestrians, not for cars, but on this cemetery a lot of the witnesses in the Tom Dooley case and trial is buried. The cemetery was originally founded by a brother of Tom Dooley's paternal grandfather. His name was Captain William Dooley, and he died long before the case came to trial. Where the modern home is, Captain William's home once stood. At the time of the Dooley case, this house or this place was inhabited by Major David E. Horton, the guy who found Laura's body together with his son-in-law James Isbell. I will get back to James Isbell in a while. The original house was on this place until 1949, where it burned down after a thunderstorm, where it was hit by lightning. And once more turning off the camera. The sign on the right hand side of the road tells that we are now leaving Caldwell County, where Laura and a lot of the witnesses lived, and entering Wilkes County, where Tom and the rest of the cast had their homes. I have to say that this is not the state or the county limit at the time. It will be down on the bottom of this hill where we cross a small river called Elk Creek. To the left of the bridge, when we passed the bridge, was the home of some of the witnesses, the Witherspoons. And when we reach a sign called with the name Elkville on it, it was where the store was then, the store and post office and more, called Cole's store. I will leave the camera on for a little while as we are soon approaching the next place of interest. On the right hand side you see a not too good looking house. This is one of the very few houses from the time that is still standing. It is where one of the witnesses, Rufus Dooley-Horton, had his home. And we're now approaching a small gravel road called Bill Horton Road, and we will take that road on the left hand side. During my visit here in 2016, I had to take a longer stop here with my son as a turtle was crossing the road. And it didn't hurry up too much. On the left hand side of the road is a small creek, and this is Reedy Branch, where the people lived, although higher up in the hills. Straight ahead you will see a modern house on a small hill. Where this house is today is where Tom lived with his mother and his older sister in his mother's cabin. There's nothing left of the cabin, but it was where it was. Where the road is now once was the path that Tom worked on the night before, or the day before Laura disappeared, and where the prosecution thought it was a cover-up for him digging the grave. The ridge on the right-hand side of the road is called Laura Foster Ridge, and it was on that ridge that Laura's body was discovered by David E. Horton and James Isbell around September 1st, 1866, more than 3 months after Laura's disappearance. We are now approaching modern road, Gladys Fork Road. Where this road runs today, in the old days was the Stony Fork Road that is mentioned several times in the trial records. In the first place, I will go left here. No, I will go right here, of course, and take you just a short bit down this road. Along this road, the Stony Fork Road, were the homes of the Andersons, the Meltons, at least Francis Melton, and other witnesses. And the area to the left is where the Bates place once was. Nobody knows exactly today where it was, but it was up there that Laura was killed, and where her horse were found tied to a dogwood tree a couple of days or after. No, it was not found tied to a dogwood tree. It had been tied to a dogwood tree, and the rope it was tied with was found a couple of weeks after her disappearance. Probably up this road that I'm pointing at now. I will turn around the car and go back in the other direction. Up on the ridge on the right hand side in front of us were the homes of Lottie Foster and Ann Melton and her husband James. Lottie Foster's was to the left on the ridge, and the Melton homes was farther up the ridge. Nobody knows exactly where it was today, but it's up there. You can't go there, but only on foot. You can't drive a car up there. If you go up this very, very small road, you can see some modern houses on top, and where these modern houses are today is where Lottie Foster had her home. In front of us you can see a small fence probably. This fence is surrounding the Melton family cemetery, and this is where Ann Melton is buried. Unfortunately, it's on private property, so you can't go there. That goes for all of the graves of the people directly involved in the case: Ann Melton, Laura Foster, and Tom Dooley. Well, we are almost back at NC Highway 268, though a couple of miles east of where we left it, and I will go further east this time. In the distance you might be able to see a small white sign on the left hand side of the road. That's a historical marker telling about Tom Dooley's grave being down the road on the right hand side. We are passing the Yadkin River once again, and I will take a detour down this road, which has the name Tom Dooley Road and the number State Road 1164 and not 1134 as it is called on Google Maps and Google Earth. Tom's grave is, as I mentioned before, on private property, so you can't get to see it, and unfortunately, unlike Laura's grave, it's not visible from the road. But I can tell you, if you want to go there and challenge the no trespassing signs, where to find it. Well, up this very muddy road is, if you go up there, you will come to a gate. Right before the gate is a small path, overgrown path, leading to the right. If you follow this path about 200 yards, you will come to the Dooley family cemetery. Around 30 people are buried here, but Tom grave is the only one with a stone on it. It has been open to the public in previous years, but some souvenir hunters had broken off pieces of the gravestone, and that's why the owner of the land said, no, we can't risk having the stone completely ruined. So this is why I close for the access. But as said, you can of course challenge the no trespassing signs that's further up the road. Well, we're back on 268 and we will go just a little bit further east to where I define that Dooley-Land ends. On our left-hand side, we will get to Whippoorwill Academy. Whippoorwill Academy is a small open-air museum. Unfortunately, it's only open from 1 to 5 p.m. on every third Saturday, as you can see on the sign. If I turn in here, you can see the road is blocked, but as this is Saturday, and it's a third Saturday, it will be open later, and I will go there myself, but unfortunately I can't take my car in there. The museum was founded by Mrs. Edith Carter, who collected a lot of buildings from the area, and also added some buildings that were built as replicas of older buildings. Edith Carter knew very much about the Dooley case, and she has painted 65 paintings about the case, paintings and drawings about the case, and there's a small Tom Dooley museum on the Whippoorwill Academy and Village. And in this museum you can see all of her paintings, or rather most of her paintings, together with other stuff from the case, like the door handle from Tom Dooley's mother's cabin and things like that, the pistol that James Grayson, or the revolver, it was actually a revolver, that James Grayson had on him when Tom Dooley was arrested. It's worth a visit, but as I said, it's only opened every third Saturday from 1 to 5. We still miss a little bit of what I'm going to show you, but I have to go back quite a while, so once more, stop the camera. Well, now I'm back west, not far from where Laura's grave is, on a road called Grandin Road. This road didn't exist in Tom Dooley's days, as you had to cross the river via a ford a couple of miles back to the east. The road started its existence in the early 1900s. I'll get back to that when I find a place to stop. On the left-hand side of the road you will see a small church building in a little while. This building is Mariah's Chapel, and it was the first church building in what was then called Happy Valley. It was built in 1879, and until then service has had to be held in big barns, in big houses, or out in the open if the weather allowed. On the cemetery of this small chapel are the graves of, among others, Dr. George Carter, who examined the body when it was found, Laura's body, and who treated both Pauline Foster, Anne Melton and Tom Dooley for syphilis. Also the grave of Francis Melton, who was a sharecropper on land belonging to Dr. Carter. Dr. Carter's son, his wife, and his son's wife are all buried on the small cemetery around this small chapel. The chapel today is on the National Register of Historic Places, and it's well worth a visit. I will turn right here on a small road called Howell Farm Road, and when I get up that road I will tell you a little bit more about the Grandin settlement, which has absolutely nothing to do with the Dooley case, but I find it interesting anyway. On top of the hill on the right hand side is the Grandin Baptist Church. On the other side of the church, unfortunately I can't drive all the way so I can't show you, is the graves, are the graves of the Isbell family. James Isbell, his wife, his sister, one of his sons, and so on. James Isbell, if you don't remember, was the eager pursuer of Tom Dooley for reasons that are unknown today. Grandin was a small town or small settlement established around 1902 by a guy called J.W. Grandin, who owned a tract of land here with a lot of timber, and he built a small town to house people working in his timber mill, and has also established a railway line from North Wilkesboro out here to this area alongside the river. The local people warned him about building where he did and building the railway where he did, but he didn't listen. And in 1916 everything was washed away in a large flood from the Yadkin River. All that's left today actually is the name and what was once the boarding house but is now used as a private property. Where Grandin once was, even earlier, the Isbell family had their home, but as you can imagine, that has also long gone. And that concludes the Dooley tour.